just love a good blowjob.
Right.
That would be all it would take to cheer me up and get me out of bed.
Yeah.
I'd be like, obviously from someone I care about, or I don't really know. It depends on how I'm feeling. But.
Right, but it's the same thing. I mean, you have sex, you orgasm, that releases a cocktail of endorphins and chemicals into your brain. So it's probably the same thing as
Well, it might be temporary.
But it's temporary, yeah.
But I find there's a lot of guys that after they orgasm, they want to just either eat a sandwich or roll over and go to bed. So it gives me a spurt of energy. I'm a fucking weirdo, man. So I want to get up out of bed. It used to drive some of my ex-girlfriends nuts because I'd get up after sex and go to the computer and start working. Right? Okay. My afterglow I'd utilize in other ways.
Yeah.
But
and then run around the house.
Yeah. But obviously it's very important to lay with your partner and experience the afterglow together. I know that now, and just to kind of indulge in that euphoria. But everybody's different. Like you and I were talking about some of the techniques that I'm doing now with
Right. Yeah. You're trying to get at that multiple orgasm stage, man. Multiple orgasm. So for people listening, so for all the women, you're not able to hold that over them.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, I can multiple orgasm. Yeah, I can too.
Yeah, exactly. So for the gentlemen listening, you can actually train your body to have multiple orgasms. This is something that I'm training to do right now. I haven't pulled it off.
Like a marathon?
Haven't pulled it off yet. But so the thing is that there's two separate things. There's your orgasm and there's ejaculation.
Okay.
So there's also a point called ejaculatory inevitability. So there's when you're approaching a point of no return, you're going to come, right?
Right.
So what you have to do is practice getting to that point because you can feel it. You can feel the wave come over your body.
Right.
And then you have to be able to stop it. So you just kind of sit tight and let that pass. And it's basically that wave that's coming up, you can kind of mimic the orgasm that you would have had. So you can tighten your ass. You can sort of do the convulsions. Eventually you'll trick your body into having an orgasm without the ejaculation because the ejaculation is, you're done. So you can stay hard and continue going and have these orgasms after orgasm. And the nice thing is the arousal builds. Whereas as soon as you spunk, you're gone. You're done.
Over.
Yeah, game over for at least a good 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Usually closer to half an hour before you can rejuvenate. But
So So I mean, you're
just a little side note for people out there. Men can't have multiple orgasms.
Which I actually didn't know. That.
You didn't know that?
No. Well, because I knew women could.
People think it's a myth, right?
Yeah.
But it takes a lot.
I know women can do it.
Women can. Yeah. Women can for sure.
Yeah. I've heard it has a lot to do with clitoris size. Too.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's news to me. I didn't know.
Anyways, so you know a ton of stuff about stuff like that. And so you were also touching on you've been going to colleges and universities around where Ontario, Canada? Or?
Ontario, mostly Ontario, London, England.
Yeah, you went to the UK.
Well, not just London. It was just all over England and Wales. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a lot of fun. It's a different world over there, but same problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's I saw some really nice signage up in those universities. I mean, people are getting better with the signs, but you need to be always reminding people what consent is.
Right.
So in the signs, they would say, consent is only a very enthusiastic yes under sober conditions.
Right.
And the other important... Yeah, it really is. I mean, you have to be over the top enthusiastic. Being silent, like the absence of no is not consent. And the point is that at any given time...
Have you been surprised by how many people, know or don't know a proper definition of consent? Like, are there tons of students, young people out there who just don't know?
Well, it's tough. I mean, it's kind of, you got to remember that I'm bringing them up on stage in front of hundreds of people, right? So, and they don't know what questions are being asked. So when I ask them what their definition of consent is, I kind of put them on the spot.
Right.
So a lot of them just saying yes. And I say, okay, and then I have to elaborate a little more, and they kind of...
Push them.
Push them a little bit. But they tend to get it. I don't think anyone... they know that you have to say yes, and I think everyone knows sort of the general definition. Mm-hmm. I don't think they know the specifics. And I think that's something that really needs to be worked on because it's very important. And I think they need to understand that... Because I know when I was younger, I didn't... I just kind of... You'd start kissing and see how far you got. I wasn't one that communicated well during those times. I wasn't a communicator. Now, I'm very much a communicator. Is this okay? Do you like this? Show me how you like it. For example, if you're kissing a person for the first time, the best way to sort of understand how they want to be kissed is to ask them, say, show me how you want to be kissed, and then let them kiss you the way they want to be kissed. So by doing things like that, you're actually getting consent in a way as well.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean...
So, I have a question, actually.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know the answer to this, or if there is one. I don't know. But I remember at Western one time, this was, 2008, 2009. Some guy they brought in for a consent talk. I think it was at Alumni Hall. And he was talking about consent and asking for permission if you're a guy, right?
Yeah.
So his whole spiel was, you should be asking for consent even before you go to kiss them. So let's say you're on a first date or you're at a club or something. His whole thing was you should stop and you should say, oh, can I kiss you?
Yeah,
right?
sure.
And I understand what he's getting at.
Yeah.
You should ask for consent. But at the same time, I feel like there's got to be like a bit of, reading going on there.
Sure.
I mean, because just asking, flat out kills me. I don't care how many people stand up and are like, oh.
You're wrong, though. You're wrong.
But it totally does.
You're wrong. Listen,
Okay,
I understand that at times... You might want to lean in. I mean, even when you're leaning in, as long as you're not, fucking grabbing her face. If you give a little moment for her to come,
like that body language.
Yeah, she'll lean in or he'll lean in, whatever. I mean,
yeah. So that's my whole point. I thought that was kind of a strange message because like what he was saying is like you shouldn't do it. Like you should just flat out turn around and be like, hey, can I kiss you? And for me, that's. Seems not only clumsy and socially awkward, but it seems like it takes away a very important social skill, which is understanding when it's okay to try to kiss someone.
So reading body language in a sense?
Reading body language in a sense, right? Like you go in, and if you're close to the girl's face or the guy's face, and he turns away or she turns away or doesn't do anything or seems to get nervous, then you might want to pull back and be like, okay, so how do you feel about this?
Sure.
Right? Instead of just, turning around point blank, hey, can I kiss you? Because that seems very robotic.
Well, there's other ways to do it. It doesn't have to be robotic. You can ask for permission and communicate in a sexy way that actually makes her feel more comfortable.
That's true.
And we're using her because I know that Vince is a heterosexual male, but I'm talking, it's interchangeable. We're gender neutral as always.
That's very true, I suppose. Like you could, like I feel like consent. It's always phrased in a way where it's like, it seems...
It doesn't have to be textbook.
Right, because I feel like we always get a textbook definition of consent. Like, as a guy, I'm supposed to say, do you want to have sex with me?
No.
Right? And it doesn't, at least my understanding of things, is that it doesn't always have to work in that format, right? You can communicate your desire, right, to kiss someone or to have sex with them enthusiastically, using all the slang you want, right? And then you take that and you read what you get from it, right? If the girl's like, yeah, absolutely, let's do that, right? And
that's kind of what you need.
Then you're like, hey, I got the gold ticket, let's go for it, right?
Sure.
If it's like, oh, I don't know, I'm kind of tired tonight, then hey, maybe you want to like...
Maybe you want to err on the side of caution, because at the end of the day, it's not like... You want the other person to be comfortable. You want to create that bond. I mean, I don't understand these guys out there that can actually think that it's kind of like... Listen, different, before I get into that, like different if you're in a relationship and you want to play some scenarios where you're getting into like simulated rape play and stuff. That is a thing, and it's very consensual even though it's not, right? But these guys that kind of think it's hot to just like, to not ask permission and to kind of force. I mean, that's a traumatic experience for someone. So.
Well, and it's very weird too, because I've always thought of sex as like a trust-based type of thing, right? There's communication going on, there's trust, and if all of a sudden you just like completely just ignore the other side and take what you want, there's no trust there, right? It's just, it seems counterintuitive.
Well, I understand it's a different time, and I understand people are just hooking up for the sake of hooking up and getting laid for the sake of getting laid. But let me tell you this: it's a lot better when you actually have a connection, and when there's guys out there that are putting notches in their belt, right? Where sleeping with as many women or men or whatever as possible, and at the end of the day, you're doing nothing but repeating the same pattern with a different person. Why not try to reconnect with the same person and over again try to explore their body in a different way? Now that's something that's an adventure.
Right.
I mean, I understand that everybody has their preferences. Everybody, maybe people are closed off to the emotional stuff. Maybe that's why they do it. But that goes just back to the mental health stuff at the end. That's you want to know how they tie in. I mean, there's lots of different ways. But that's kind of. We've kind of gone into more sex coaching than I anticipated.
Sorry.
It happens.
It comes up because it seems like they're all so tied together, right?
Sure. Which is weird because, people, when I chose the title Sex and Suicide for this, I didn't realize how easy it will be to relate to both.
Yeah.
You go, they seem like they're from totally different worlds, but at the end of the day, we can pull them together in many different ways.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting. So I guess we covered the beginnings of things, the Bachelorette, you getting into sex coaching, dealing with anxiety. You kind of covered the middle ground, talking about some cool topics related to anxiety and sex coaching. We talked about the multiple orgasms.
That wasn't supposed to be talked about tonight.
It's all good. This is fun stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, so I kind of see us. We've covered the beginning. We've covered the middle. What about the end? Like, how do you see? Like, where do you see it going forward? Like, how do you want to pursue this going forward? Like, with the whole meditation and like, are you still learning things? Are you still looking for new ways to think about things? Like how?
Yeah, meditation is still a huge part of my life. So is the things that I know that I need to do to keep healthy are to meditate a half hour a day. I need to blast my body full of nutrients. So I do my juicing, as you've seen downstairs, my vegetable juices. And then obviously hitting the gym and doing not just weights but cardio. That's sort of what I do to take care of me. That takes about probably 3 to 4 hours out of my day every day.
Right.
And then the rest of the time, it's either volunteering or studying or reading's a big thing as well. But because I'm single right now, I have the time to contribute to do things like this. So I can do podcasts and I can have guests on, and we can try to continue to make a difference. To be completely honest with you, I just feel like I have my social security card, I have my U.S. passport.
Yeah.
There is a woman I met down in Los Angeles, over a year ago. And if it wasn't for the fact that I still felt like here I had work to do, I would probably be down there with her.
Yeah.
But it's a big move. It's a big step, and I still feel like instead of leaving a shit stain on London, Ontario, like I was doing, I want to just really leave on a positive note. If I do leave, who knows? I mean, my family's here. Things may change, but and I still have lots of business here I want to complete. But I really just feel like. After everything that happened with my roommate, it's just I'm not done work yet. Yeah. So
fair enough. Well, it sounds like you've been doing some great things already. You're volunteering at the mental. I keep messing the name up. The mental health.
CMHA.
And
Parkwood Hospital.
And Parkwood Hospital. And you've been doing some the sex coaching stuff. We've been trying to raise awareness about consent. And it seems like that's kind of moving maybe towards some of the university crowd in London.
Yeah, the thing that I hope to accomplish with all of this is, as I've said before, I don't really care about how many viewers or this show taking off or any of that. What I want to do is continue to do the college and university circuit, continue to talk about consent and do the sex stuff and do shows where it promotes healthy sex-positive activities, but I also want to have every student to have a place to come where maybe if they have a question about sex, they can ask it here, or if they're struggling for mental health. I'm not a mental health professional, but I'm someone that's been through it.
Right.
And I do know a thing or two about sex. I don't know everything, but I can try to help you. If I don't know the answer, I know who to go to find it. So I just want to be a resource for the youth that when I was their age, I didn't know how to get it. I was an early ejaculator because of all the anxiety that I was feeling. Right, as soon as you learn to take care